Général Shelton, pour votre contribution. Je passe la parole au général David Phillips, qui a été responsable de la sécurité et de la situation des membres de la MPI au camp d'Ashraf en Irak pendant quelques années. C'est bien volontiers que je lui laisse présenter sa contribution.
Thank you. Madam Rajavi, distinguished guests, freedom-loving people around the world, and most importantly, the 3,400 residents of Camp Ashraf. I'm honored to be here with you today. Those of you at Ashraf, you've endured much while spending nearly 9 years in virtual captivity. Make no qualms about it. The first 6 years were under the protection of the coalition forces. And for the past 3 years, under the barbaric captivity of the al-Maliki regime. This speech is about my friends at Camp Ashraf, who I know personally. But it's important also that this speech is to bring attention to the world in highlighting the plight of those 3,400 men and women. I can only imagine how the mullahs laughed when, under orders, my unit shut down and confiscated the MEK radio transmitters, silencing the voice of freedom for the Iranian people. The reason given to me was because the MEK were terrorists. So obviously, they're sending terroristic broadcasts. The decision to cut this link off between the MEK and the people living under the iron grip of the mullahs was ridiculous. When you step back and look at these decisions, you really got to wonder. Consolidating the MEK at Camp Ashraf, I was part of that. Disarming them, I was there. Placing them under detention-like restrictions, I implemented that. And silencing their radio. It sounds like we were working for the mullahs instead of the multinational coalition forces. While the soldiers of the 89th Military Police Brigade, my brigade, detained 3,400 members at Camp Ashraf, the mullah regime was simultaneously providing weaponry and EFPs and other munitions designed to kill those soldiers. And we were actually doing the mullah's bidding by taking the MEK off of the battlefield and out of the equation. The mullahs could not have paid or bribed or extorted or blackmailed such an effective effort to thwart their number one opposition, the MEK. We, the U.S., we did it for them. To make matters worse, we walked away from a written promise to protect them, thereby abandoning the very people who can bring about change in Iran. We left them to the real terrorists. The al-Maliki regime has a tarnished record in many areas, but none so much as the abusive and sadistic and barbaric treatment of the unarmed men and women at Camp Ashraf, the Iranian resistance. Al-Maliki, you may want to use revisionist history, but there's no taking away the blood on your hands for the murder of over 40 unarmed people who were guaranteed protected status under the rights of the Fourth Geneva Convention, not to mention over 1,000 who were wounded, some critically. I lose sleep because I was the spokesperson for the coalition forces with the MEK at Camp Ashraf. As the commander of the 89th MP Brigade, I conducted sweep operations, looking for violations of the agreement the MEK made to disarm. I never found a violation. I directed my forces to search every square inch of that 36 square kilometer facility, and not one piece of contraband, not one violation was found. My forces also participated with other government agencies in determining the status of every one of those 3,400 people, and not one was found to be associated with terrorism or even any criminal acts. The residents of Ashraf were each given a written, individually, each of them, a written promise of protection I personally delivered the first written promise.